Okay, now practical transformer on load. So we are going to see how on load or no load we have analyzed the two currents, magnetizing current and core loss current, right? So same way, if I'm going to use my transformer with the load, we are going to see what additional components will be coming in the equivalent circuit of your transformer. So first one is effect of winding resistance. So see here we have primary and secondary winding, right? And these windings are always made up of wire. Wire means copper. You know, copper is a very good metal. It has a very good amount of conductivity. And so when a current pass through a metal, definitely you will have heat. You will have heat, and that is going to be in the form of the resistor means, you know, it is going to be I square R loss, or you're going to call it as copper loss. So to account for that heat, what we are doing, we are adding a resistance R1 and R2 in the primary and secondary of your transformer. This is just to indicate the loss happening because of windings. Okay, winding, pure winding means it will have only inductive component. There will be no resistance. But practically, what happens when you consider practical transformer, the windings will have a resistance R1 in the primary and R2 in the secondary. So, and you know, when current pass through a wire, definitely you will have heat, and that heat is always modeled as a resistor. So the current flowing through resistor is I1, and the loss happening is I1 square R1 at the primary and I1 I2 square R2 at the secondary. So that is going to be the I square R loss, or it is called as copper loss. And for accounting this loss, what I'm doing, I'm adding two resistance R1 in the primary and R2 in the secondary. So this is the effect of winding resistance. Ideal transformer R1 and R2 will not be added because we assume the windings to be pure inductor only. Is that clear? So first, practical transformer on load, effect of winding resistance. So since your winding is not ideal, it will have some resistance. When any component is going to possess resistance, when current is going to flow through that resistance, you will have heat, and that heat is quantified as a loss. It is called as I squared R loss or copper loss. And in diagram, we quantify that loss by including a resistance in series with the winding. So R1 is the resistance in the primary side, and R2 is the resistance in the secondary side. Okay, this is the effect of winding resistance. Next one, effect of flux leakage. So, okay, so you know that the transformer action happens entirely by electromagnetic induction. So whatever flux is produced in the primary, it is going to travel through the core, and it is going to link with your secondary. An ideal transformer, we have seen one point, there is no flux leakage. But in practical transformer, definitely we are going to have flux leakage. Okay, the entire flux produced the secondary, the entire flux produced in the secondary is not confined to the core. What does that mean? The entire flux is not linked to the secondary. So actually, if for example, I'm saying if 100 flux lines are produced in the primary, 100 flux lines should be linked to the secondary. That is the condition for zero flux leakage. But what happens because of non-ideal component of your core? So your core is not having infinite permeability, right? Core is also having a finite permeability, and there is also some reluctance inside your core. Because of all these factors, what will happen? Some flux produced from the primary will leak into the air. It will go out. It will escape into the air. So that is going to be one of the leakage. Okay, it is going to be leaking into the air. See here, a portion of the flux will leak through the air parts. So definitely, if 100 flux lines are there, assume 3 flux lines are leaking out. The difference is going to be only 97. So 97 is going to be linked to the secondary. So that difference, the flux which is leaked out into the air medium in the primary side is called as leakage flux. And any flux is because of magnetic field. And magnetic field, the relative component which we have in electronics is inductor. So we represent an inductor at the primary side to account for the flux leakage in the primary. See here, in the primary side, I am going to have a component X1. So this X1 will indicate the leakage flux in the primary. Okay, so power loss means you have to use inductor. When you are going to have flux leakage means you have to use, sorry, power loss means we'll be using resistor. When you are going to have flux leakage means I'm going to represent that by an equivalent inductor X1 at the primary. Any doubt so far? Any doubt in the effect of flux leakage at the primary side? You have to ask doubts if you have. Otherwise, I'll be keeping on continuing with my lecture. If things are understood, I'm happy. Otherwise, you have to open your mouth and ask. Is this portion clear? Effect of flux leakage at the primary side. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Same way, the secondary also you will have flux leakage. So see, alternatively, whenever you are going to have a flux linked from primary to secondary, because of the secondary flux only, you are going to have an induced EMF in the secondary winding, and that induced EMF is going to produce a current in the secondary. So when there is going to have a flux leakage in the secondary, definitely there will be some loss in energy. Okay, so that is going to be quantified as flux leakage in the secondary. You are going to have an inductor X2 at the secondary to quantify for the flux leakage at the secondary. Flux leakage at the primary is because of the flux leaking into the air medium. Flux leakage in secondary is because of not improper coupling of flux from primary to secondary. See, out of 100, only 97 is being coupled to secondary, and in that 97, properly only some will be coupled. So that flux leakage in secondary is quantified by another inductor X2 at the secondary. So you cannot call this as an energy loss, because energy loss means we'll be using a resistor only. So it can be called, it is not a direct power loss, but it causes the secondary voltage to be directly proportional to the primary voltage. So you know that secondary voltage is proportional to primary voltage, right? So V1 by V2 equal to N1 by N2, we know. So V1 equal to N1 by N2 into V2. So you know N1 by N2 is constant. So V1 is proportional to V2. But because of this flux leakage, what will happen? The proportionality is going to be lost. Okay, the proportionality is going to be lost. See here, it is not a direct power loss, but it causes the secondary voltage to be not proportional to the primary voltage under heavy loads. So, okay, for that only, I'm going to quantify this mismatch in the flux. We are going to add an inductor of value x1 in the primary, and it is of value x2 in the secondary. Previously, we had R1 in the primary and R2 in the secondary for copper loss or iron loss. Now, to account for flux leakage, I am going to add the inductor x1 in the primary and x2 in the secondary. So, they effectively, you see, you have the mutual flux phi u, right? So that is going to be the causing the transformer action. So leakage flux phi L1 will escape into free space. Phi L2 will not be properly coupled into your secondary. So effectively the remaining flux phi U, the diagram I have marked phi U, you see. So the diagram I have marked phi U. See, phi U is solely responsible for the coupling action. Phi U is solely responsible for the coupling action in your device. Okay, so that is what is marked in the diagram also. So flux leakage, you cannot avoid it, cannot minimize it to some extent also. So 100% ideal case cannot be achieved everywhere. So to indicate the effect of phi L1 and phi L2 or the flux leakage in primary and secondary, we are going to add additional reactance X1 and X2 in the primary and secondary winding. And the voltage across the winding is going to be EL1 equal to I1 into X1, EL2 equal to I2 into X2. So X1 and X2 are called as primary and secondary leakage reactance. And you see that the leakage flux is proportional to current, so the mutual flux will be almost constant. So as current increases, the leakage flux will also increase, but effectively the mutual flux coupled from primary to secondary is going to be always a constant number. That is what is given here. Okay, it's going to be a constant number. Any doubt in this? See, ideal transformer, just two windings you will represent and finish it off. But practical transformer, you see how many difficulties we have in establishing the case. So for we have to account for the power loss of the winding. We have to account for the leakage flux